Welcome to this math session where we learn how to solve problems involving proportions. This is tied to the competencies that you'll be tested on, so stay tuned to this channel and subscribe if you've not done so. Also, check your Google Classroom to finish up any pending assignments. To understand how to solve proportions, you need to understand how to solve ratios, equations, and fractions. If you haven't learned how to do that yet, links will be provided below to aid your understanding. Let's begin this lesson. Proportions are simply ratios that are equal to each other. When I say two ratios that are equal to each other, I mean this in the sense of two fractions being equal to each other. For instance, 5 out of 10 is equal to 1 over 2. Proportional reasoning can be applied to everyday life, such as in the ability to compare and produce equal ratios, as well as making map and scale models. Solving a proportion means that we have been given an equation containing two fractions which have been set equal to each other, and we're missing one part of one of the fractions. We then need to solve for that one missing value. For instance, suppose we're given the following equation. We already know by just looking at this equation and comparing the two fractions that x must be equal to 5. But let's suppose for the moment that we hadn't noticed this. We can solve the given equation by multiplying through on both sides by 10 to clear the denominators and to isolate x. And we can isolate x by cross-dividing. Verifying what we already know, we get a solution of x equal to 5. The first problem is to find the unknown value in the proportion 2 ratio x equals 3 ratio 9. My first step would be to convert the column-based ratio to fractional form so I can get an equation with two fractions. Then I'll solve the proportion by first cross-multiplying to isolate x, which will give me 18 equals 3x. When we divide both sides by 3, the answer is 6. Hence, x equals 6. The second problem is to find the unknown value in 2x plus 1 ratio 2 equals x plus 2 ratio 5. Okay, this proportion has many more variables than I've seen previously. And they're in expressions rather than standing by themselves. So this is going to be a cross-multiplying solution. First, I convert the column-based ratio to fractional form. Then I can solve the proportion starting by cross-multiplying. When we cross-multiply our equation, it becomes this. Next, I'll expand the bracket, which results in 10x plus 5 equals 2x plus 4. Next, I'll collect like terms, resulting in 8x equals negative 1. When we divide both sides by 8 to isolate x, x will be equal to negative 1 over 8. Why don't you try these on your own? They are also posted on your Google Classroom and can be completed there to get instant feedback. Let's move on. For proportions to be equal, the product of their means must be equal to the product of the extremes, or we can also say that their cross products must be equal. So, how do we check that 4 over 10 is proportional to 5 over 8? We can check by cross-multiplying and comparing their cross products. 4 times 8 equals 40, 10 times 5 equals 50. While these values are close, they are not equal, so I know the original fractions cannot be proportional to each other. So we can eventually say that the fractions are not proportional because their cross products are not equal. Let's try one more. Are these ratios proportional to each other? We can check by multiplying the means and extremes and comparing the values. The product of the means, 170 and 273, is equal to 46,410. The product of the extremes, 42 and 1,105 is equal to 46,410. Comparing the product, we can say that the ratios are proportional to each other, and this is because the product of the means and extremes are equal. Why don't you try these on your own? They are also posted on your Google Classroom and can be completed there to get instant feedback. That brings us to the end of this lesson. Don't forget to utilize all the materials I'll post on the Google Classroom platform to enable you master this skill. Don't forget to also stay tuned to the Abarso social media platforms to stay informed. Thanks for watching.